All right, let's face it. The rise of AI is happening right now everywhere that you go. Everywhere across social media, you see people talking about this crazy topic of how AI is here for your job. It's here to manipulate the human experience. It's here to, create a false reality. People are questioning what is happening in the world. Was this actually created by a human? Is it AI? You see people nagging and going about it in the comments. It's a very complex and scary topic, especially for people like me and you, because, we like to create art, we like to create perspective, and we try to create impact and so on. But what if I were to tell you that AI is actually a good thing? And what is happening right now is it's a great thing for people like me and you, because there are so many benefits to what is happening. We just need to remove the layer and try to just see things on a deeper level. And in this video, I wanted to go over onto why it's a good thing and how we can use these things to our own advantages. So let's talk about why it is such a great thing for you and me. People who like to create with expression, create art, create perspective, share, our values and create impact and so on. So AI cannot create human perspective. It cannot create the human experience. It can only do what it's told. So if you perceive something, or if you have a perspective, you can put it into AI and it can help make it a little bit more clear. It can help, broaden horizons and shape something, but it cannot actually create your perspective. Only you can do that. You create your perspective by the way that you have value. What do you value? What are your opinions? What are the things that you believe? That is where perspective comes in, and how you perceive the world as well. It's like, like you can look up at the sky and be like, that cloud right there looks like a coffee cup. That is the way that you are perceiving it. And my perspective is I see that from down here. Do you see it too? AI can create that cloud as a picture for you, but it can't, it can't just be like, yep, that's it, and it can't recreate the same exact image. It can't, it can kind of like generalize it, but it can't recreate reality. And when you can understand that only you can create your perspective, share your perspective, share the way that you perceive reality, share your beliefs, share your values, that is what makes you stand out, because only you can see those things. People can relate to it. People can relate to the way that you are talking. People can relate with what you have to say. People can relate with the things that you are going through, and they can see, your perspective and understand it. But only you can create it. And that's what makes you so unique. And the best way that you can do this is just by being yourself. Be vulnerable, be honest. Like, I'm going to be totally honest. I've been sitting here for the past, 40 minutes recording take after take after take after take, because I consistently overthink on so many different things. But I'm just sitting here and talking, and I know that I make mistakes, and so do you, but that's what makes everything beautiful. And, people in today's world are yearning for authenticity, not information. People want real people. They don't want to hear, here's your 5 steps to having a better life. Like, people don't give a fuck about that anymore. People want people to be people, because AI is just making things so inauthentic. And, what's that word? It's like false, like it's making things just, I forget the word. It's just irking me. Okay. Anyways, artificial, synthetic, man-made, unnatural, inorganic. To me, AI content is all of that. There's no actual connection or value. It's just here for likes, comments, because obviously people are going to comment because everyone hates it nowadays, and views. It's for the engagement. It's kind of like the content that you'd see on Instagram consistently, where everyone was just, that whole fad where everybody was posting fast-paced content, really quick cuts with all these different, generic hooks and, film emulations and film burns and so on and so forth. all these different overlays, it kind of reminds me of that. In fact, I believe that that era was the setup for what is happening now, which everybody is now going backwards, because I've most recently discovered that there's a thing that's called the no edit edit, where everybody just sits down, has a conversation on camera, drinks some coffee, shares their perspective, their beliefs, and not really worries about things being perfect, which is fucking great, because you get to actually experience them as imperfect people, which then connects you even more to them. And that's coming from an introvert. I'm a massive introvert. Trust me. I don't like big crowds. I don't like to go out anywhere. I just like to kind of like stick by myself and do my thing. But, you know, it's fucking awesome, you know? And why does all this matter? Why does it matter? Why does it matter that AI is happening and everybody's going backwards and people are connected or trying to connect with other people? Well, it allows you, if you're looking to create in the space and grow and have your perspective be put out there and possibly, you know, grow into something, it allows you to really be authentically you. And that's the only way that this is going to work, is if you peel back the layers that separate you from everybody else. Otherwise, you blend in with the rat race. You'll blend in with the same shit that you see online with AI, fast-paced content for engaging things, and you need to learn different generic hooks, and the list goes on and on. The first thing that you need to understand is that it is going to be hard, and anything that is hard is worth it. Anything that is easy probably has a catch, and that catch is here to fuck you over. You know, for example, my first ever ultra distance, when I ran my first ultra marathon distance, I was scared shitless. You know, and it was also really, really hard. It took me 7 hours and I think like 15 minutes to run it. It was 31.15 miles, and it left me feeling second guessing myself. Am I worth this? Because am I good enough? Should I be doing this? Because a lot of other people are running, you know, 5-6 hours at least. I mean, or at max, you know, like, they are a hell of a lot better than I am. And it made me second guess myself, you know? And if you start to second guess yourself during this entire process of peeling back those layers and just being authentically you, just understand that this is okay and it's natural. You're gonna run into like what ifs, like what if I'm not good enough? What if I suck? What if I can't get it the first try? What if I, you know, am not liked? What if the pieces that I'm exposing to myself are going to be picked apart and destroyed? And then it makes you feel like you are worthless because no one really likes them. Just understand that these things are natural, and these, you know, worries are valid. But if you do things for the, you know, sheer reason of just getting views and engagement because of what someone else likes, not all views are good views. Not all views are aligned with your mission. And you want to have people that are coming up and showing up for you because they feel aligned with you. You know? And if you fight these things of being who you truly are, you will lose yourself. I know I'm a product of this. Why? Because at one point when I was starting up YouTube, I was not fully authentic to myself. I didn't act the way that I usually do 100%. I put on a persona because that's what I was force-fed. Well, not force-fed. Can't say that I was force-fed, but I was fed through the content that I was listening to and or viewing, that is the way that you need to show up, and that is to be overexcited, and people want to not have somebody drag them down and feel bored and so on and so forth. And all it did was just make me lose myself. That's all it did. I started to hate creating. I started to hate pressing the record button and having to be perfect for every single line and say things in a very chipper way all the time. Because, you know, people like to feel connected to imperfections. And understand that if you do what everybody else wants, and if you lean into what everybody else likes, and you're performing the same way as everybody else, you are just going to blend in with the rat race. You're just going to be part of what everybody else is doing, and you're not going to stand out. How do you pick out what the black sheep is in the flock? You look for the black sheep. And the black sheep is the one who does everything different. And that is what you need to do. But if I were to say the biggest takeaway that you can take away from this video would be, you need to be the reason for people to feel okay with not being perfect. Let's say it again. Be the reason for other people to feel okay with not being perfect. Because that is one thing that AI cannot recreate, because AI is perfect. AI does not search for imperfections. AI searches for data, and it takes what you feed it, and then it creates the perfect thing, or the most perfect thing that you can get out of what you are describing or searching for. And that is not what AI can do for the human experience. It cannot recreate imperfections, because those imperfections are the things that connect people together. It is those imperfections are the things that make people feel heard, because it's like, holy shit, I'm not perfect. You ain't perfect. We can connect on this. Just like massive, big, impactful stories like Lord of the Rings. Frodo consistently is met with these different conflicts and these things that he has to face, these failures, these big roadblocks, if you will. And you feel connected throughout the entire story because you can watch him overcome these things. And as you exploit or bring out those imperfections of yourself, other people are going to feel connected to those things to you, like with you, and those people are going to want to come and hang out with you because it's like, holy shit, we can connect on this. Plus, like all the other great things too. You know, people feel more connected through failures and imperfections rather than wins. So remember, AI can replicate content, but it cannot replicate your perspective, your beliefs, your opinions, what makes you you, you know? And it could definitely be used as a tool, but keep in mind, it can't replicate you. Disciplined authenticity is your main driver. I mean, it is the thing that is going to make you stand out most effectively, because only you can be authentically yourself. And being real is going to feel really fucking hard. Trust me, I get it, but it's totally worth it. It feels great to just let loose and just peel back the layers and pull back the veil and not have to feel like you have to perform something, you know? And your doubts are definitely valid. They really are. Everybody goes through them. I go through them myself as well. But keep going anyway. That is what to bear the summit means. That's what I've kind of like come up with, that whole saying, bear the summit, move towards the summit of the mountain, you know? And it helps motivate me. Maybe it can help motivate you. That's why I say it in almost every single video. And maybe if you want, you can like write it down somewhere. And if it has helped you, we'll definitely love to know about it. And of course, connection is going to be the thing that makes you stand out. What makes you connect to other people, you know? And only you can create this connection, because only you can share your perspective, your beliefs, and only you can bring them about that's going to connect with other people. So I hope you like this video. Hopefully it has helped you understand that AI is not here to take things away from you, and we can definitely use this to our advantage to just be people. So yeah, if you want to have some conversation, head down to the comment section below. I'd love to know if there's any ideas that maybe some topics that you would like for me to cover. I would definitely love to hear about them. And maybe, and like I said, maybe even just have some conversation. Let's do it. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.